Hey there, SimplySuperDave coming at you from a very hot day here in this great state of Louisiana, here in this crazy United States, on this crazy planet spinning out of control, in this crazy universe we call life. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. I do some podcasts where I'm just talking about random thoughts and it has no real deep meaning. It's just, philosophical stuff. I like to put some stew and vegetables and stuff like that in your soup. Can't just have a plain soup. You got to add some things in there to keep it chunky. All right, we like to keep life chunky. We don't like to be thin in life, right? Well, look, if you listen to the podcast, I have not kept a secret that I'm a poor motherfucker. Okay, and I don't mean, and then people are like, I ain't homeless. What level of poor do you got to be to be poor? All right, if you can't go out on Friday night, but you're paying the bills, you're poor. Okay, I don't care what you say. You are just another cog, slave in the system that keeps the line moving. And when one of you falls and drops dead, there's another one to step right into your place and keep on going. So I'm going to roll up the window a little bit here, and I don't have AC in the truck, so I'm sacrificing a lot to make this podcast, because I was doing a lot of thinking. I've had a lot of string of bad things happen to me over my life, and every time something bad happens, and it's not that bad, but the effect of it's like the worst ever, that's why I always like to take a step outside of myself and go, okay, well, really the problem isn't that bad, but the timing of the problem and everything that's already mounted up to a certain point, that one little thing could break, and that's where the saying comes, the straw that breaks the camel's back. How much can you carry? When is it one too many straws of the bale of hay? When is it when the camel finally says, I can't go no further? I did a previous podcast before, going to Vegas to die, which is a true story in my account of 21 years ago, where I went to Las Vegas with the intent of never coming back. And I'm not saying just to move there. I was going to do something, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I ain't going to lie to you. I knew what I was doing, so I was going to go out on it with a bang, right? Well, it didn't play out that way. Thanks, Tupac. And I don't mean Tupac Shakur. But a good friend of mine, that's his nickname, deserves it. But I've gotten 21 plus years onto my life. That's just been an adventure. I treated every day like I didn't know what was going to come. No matter what I plan out in my head, no matter what I put my heart into, I still expected the unexpected. And a lot of people say, well, if you put out the energy that it's not going to succeed, then it's probably not. Because that energy feeds back. And if you believe in it, you fully believe in it. I'm telling you, I watch a lot of people fully believe in shit, and they're in the same position as me. So I call bullshit on that. I do believe in energy, though, and I do believe in the positive and the negative. I just don't believe if you put out a whole lot of positive that you're going to get back a whole lot of positive. I think you get back a whole lot of positive, but when you look at it in the ratio that if you're giving out, you're still the, what I'm saying? You're not getting it all back. And when it's negative, well, that's funny, because when it's negative, it seems like more people react back, which says a lot about society itself. So I try not to take things too personally. But this past week, just having a flat tire on a Sunday kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? You can have a flat tire any day of the week. Saturday, Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday, 4:30 in the afternoon, 10:30 in the morning. There's a tire shop with a used tire. You ain't got to pay no full price for a $120 little tire. I had a little Honda Civic, so it's a little tire. But on a Sunday, when you're stretching it to get rent for the next week, you don't have $100. You can maybe swing the 65 or whatever for a used one, a good used one. Some good tread on it. But a brand new one, and not even the low brand, because no, they're not in stock. You got to get them online. No. We got the good years, though, and they're 120. Things like that, And you know what? That That actually came pretty close to being the straw that broke the camel's back for good old Dave. But I persevered through it. Like I said, it wasn't the problem. It's everything else that's going on inside of me that made that such a big problem. See what I'm saying? Like if I had money in the bank, no problem. I would go ahead and get 4 new tires. I wouldn't think twice about it. In that episode, I never really talked about what got me to that place. I will tell you this. You will get back to that place in several other moments in your life. But it's that moment that you survive it, or you, whatever reason it doesn't go through. You recognize those other moments when they come along, and you're able to sidestep them or deal with them better to where you don't get to that point again. You know what a person who thinks about doing that to themselves thinks about? I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. It's very selfish. Because it's a very selfish action. I don't care what your little sob story is, who died, or whatever, you know. And you're like, well, he sounds so uncaring. Because when you look at it in a mass amount, it is uncaring. You can't care for the whole population. That was the whole point of the Matrix. What made Neo special is that it was impossible to love everybody, but the power of just loving one is infinite. I have made many statements in my life over the past few years, and that involving who I love and probably will forever, that will always remain true. And the reason why most of the time I ever got to points like this, I would always have a way an inspiration to pull me away. A lure, so to speak, as if I was a fish. Need something to pull me away from the whirlpool, you know. I'll take that worm. Get me away, get me away. It's like a risk, a catch-22. No matter which way you go, there's going to be some consequences. But really, any way you go, there's going to be consequences, right? Come on. Staying super. Trying to stay super. It's very hard to do because you're going to fuck up. You're going to be called a fake. You're going to be called just because you get angry. Like you're not entitled to be angry. I will say this. If you can't deal with how one person treats you, but it's a way you treat them, then maybe you shouldn't treat them that way no more. Kind of thing. If you see them making an effort, then you should make an effort back, kind of thing. See, there, I really am the bad guy in that department. You know, I lay off so hard, I don't even recognize any kind of attention if given. I just always play it off, or I don't know. I'm very standoffish. That's me in real life. But I will open up to you if the right moment presents itself. Like if a certain situation happens, and I've worked next to you for 20 years, you work in a different department, but we know each other, but we've never spoken a word to each other, you know. And then all of a sudden one day I see that you're having a problem with something, and I know the solution to it. I will walk over, make a short hello, hey, yeah, look. And then from there, that's where that friendship would start. You can't make it happen any sooner than that moment where someone needs somebody else, even if it's something minute and trivial, so to speak. So even as a recluse, I do cling out and reach to certain people, whoever it is in my life at that moment in time, because throughout my years, the same people in my life 20 years ago are not here now, and then who's here now wasn't there 20 years ago, and who knows in 5 or 10, 2 weeks, who knows what happens. But that's something, that's a definite in life. That's a definite in life. You can't hold them accountable for it because that's just weird. So my point about breaking today isn't about how I was treated by somebody or anything like that. So before anybody says, "Oh, who is to blame for this?" There's nobody to blame. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett, but there's no woman to blame. It's my own damn fault. I got in the situation that I'm in. I knew the red flags. I went past them anyway. Felt invincible, and you get to a point where you get so angry within, but you don't express it. And then you find yourself having a critical thought, which inspires a podcast. A critical thought is a plan carried out in a methodical manner to make and illustrate a point. Because why not carry out that action and point it to somebody, right? I would do this work-related, of course, just to put an emphasis on the pay for the work and everything, but not necessarily towards, people, but I don't know. I would have to leave. Oh, well, I got a podcast. You can just listen to it and figure out how I got to that point. This one would be a good stepping point. But that's not going to happen. Because as soon as good old Dave had that thought, he thought, you know what? If I had a plan already carried out in my head and how I think that would be more satisfying than carry on to the next day, I need to talk about it. I need to get it out. Need to relate to everybody. You know what the selfish thought is? A suicidal person. Oh, I said it. Fucked up the whole podcast right there. There's a 1-800 hotline. Talk to somebody. That was my whole point a while ago, is that it's little moments in life where you intercede or cross somebody, a stranger, or maybe a familiar face, or an old friend, or the love of your life, a kid, your kid. Hopefully it's your kid. Step parent says, it's hard for me I have to explain that, but as a step parent, it's not your kid, but you care about this kid, so that's very important. Something I never thought I would ever get to experience, and the hurt from that too. I mean, it all goes both ways. It's not all fucking flowers, but I don't want to talk about the bad stuff, because everybody goes to the bad stuff. You watch movies, you see it out in public, you go to grocery stores, everybody has the same reactions with the same family. Some get a little bit more extreme than the other, and in the name of righteousness or whatever, but they really just come across as evil and rude. Believing in the right thing, but doing the wrong thing, kind of thing. And I don't know, and I just got to this point where I was like, yeah, you think about what you would like the reaction to be after you pass. Like, who would get blamed for it, or who would really miss you, or would they even care? Let me clue you in. It's the same for everybody. There's going to be a handful of people that really just, I don't know. And then there's going to be a lot of people that think they know you so well, and then about a week later, there'd be little things, but most of all, everybody moves on. Hopefully not everybody forgets about you. That's all you kind of hope for, like you left a mark enough on some people where they never forget about you, And that, when that thought comes across my mind, I end it really early, because when I was back then, 20-something years ago, I just let that over replay in my head, different scenarios over and over. I was so selfish. I only cared about myself. I have literally, materialistically, for sure, given about everything away in my life because of that day. Because of that self-realization in the mirror of myself. Using my nice guy attitude to get this or that. Or, I did a lot of favors for people if they allowed me to drink, for example. That was my addiction problem, was drinking. And because I knew they were concerned. It gets to that level where they're concerned about you. You get really you drink way more than it concerns them or whatever. But if you go do favors for them, or if you help them out, they are likely less to say anything about your bad behavior. Giving you a little a tip on the inside mind of an addict there. Because even if you're reformed, you still got it in you. So never forget, you're always susceptible to becoming a full-time, blown-out, whatever you're addicted to, addict. And it just takes you opening your mind like that. And it's no different with the topic at hand, which is, don't think about it so much. And if you do, get it out. Make it sound stupid, whatever. Get a reality check about it. And for me, I do that to myself pretty good. But I wanted to share it with y'all because, I see it everywhere. I see everybody weighed down by the very same things that push me to that point of thought. And that is the overburden of life and how stressful and hard working we are for very little. And then to have things restricted and held back on you. And when you do things right and an accident and so forth happens, you shouldn't be able not to get a business because you have a bad credit score. Most of the people that start businesses have bad credit scores. That's their inspiration to work hard, to do the job right. But you want to give it to a bunch of fucking already entitled. They don't care if they do it right. They just want the money. And that's what's wrong with the world. I've been kicked down so much that I can't take it anymore. But I'll keep swimming. God, I'm not going to say it. God, you know it. Speaking to my energy God, who's feeling my energy right now. He's got to, you can feel it pouring off my head. I mean, it's over 100 degrees today, and I'm sitting in a closed van, so it won't be loud with all these vehicles driving by. Because you know me, I don't have a studio because I'm a poor mother. I'm right next to a dumpster, okay? I'm not in the best of health. I've never been able to take care of myself. Every job that I gotten that I watched my previous generations take and make livings out of were stripped of all those things and made minimum wage jobs by the time I got to them. My whole life was prepared for something, and I had to learn something else on my own. And I'm not very good at it. I have a learning disability, I guess, or I'm mentally retarded, whatever it is. I love the word retarded because it sounds like fun, and it is. I love acting retarded at times, just for the hell of it. I like to laugh at myself. I like the reaction of my dogs. I like making other people laugh. And that is the stuff I start thinking about that pulls me back out of the hole. The selfish fucking hole where all you can think about is you're gone and how big of a deal it is. Get over yourself. It's a hard pill to swallow, trust me. God, it makes me thirsty just thinking about it. Like I said before in a previous podcast, when you walk out that door every day, everybody outside your front door does not give a fuck about what you're doing at any given moment during the day. But you got to. You're the one that you got to worry about. You're the one that has to do it. You're the one that has to make yourself happy in the moments of hell that you survive through. Because even in the Great Depression, there was happy people having good times and having love and laughter spread about everywhere. They didn't have fucking pot to piss in or 2 nickels to rub together, 2 pennies or anything. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like even 2 sticks. But they were happy. Because you're going to be happy. You're going to find your happy moments in your most miserable days. That's the other side of the coin. Wonderful, great days with little speed bumps. Well, you flip those days around. Big speed bumps, little happy moments. Enjoy those little fucking happy moments, folks. They can lure you away from the whirlpool. They could be that worm that you need to chase. And once you get out of danger, let go of that worm and be free. Like I said, folks, keep everybody close to you if you can. Keep your enemies closer. Sometimes if you have respect with anybody, whether they're a friend or an enemy, that is something to build on. That's all I'm saying. They can hate you, but if they respect you, I don't know, they'll be there for you when you need it. I don't know. That's weird, isn't it? But that's life. And if you don't understand that, you got a lot more growing up to do. I don't care how old you are. Trust me, I'm hitting that mid-century mark. So I got a little time on my hands. I got 20 plus years of life that I didn't plan on having. I'm dealing with trying to stay super. And I hope you all are doing the same thing. And I hope you are all succeeding. And I hope you are all swimming. And I hope that you deal with the hate and fear. And you don't be scared of it and shame. And put it to the side because people think you're fucking weak. Fucking come at me if you think I'm weak. Insult me. Say something to me. Talk about my gaming clips or whatever. I will have so much fucking fun with you, it ain't even funny. That's where I am. 25 years ago, every little word could have broke my back. I love my life. I wouldn't change anything about it. And I certainly wouldn't change this moment or anything that got me to here. But I certainly can know that I can change my mind about what I'm going to do next. And I'm going to go inside and have a hot shower and play some Fortnite tonight, baby. Love and laughter. Ignore the hate and fear sometimes if you got to. But turn around and deal with that bitch. Own it. Love it. Fucking get over it. And you'll be free. Just like a fish in the sea. Be a conqueror, not a victim. You know the rest. Dave out.